there is no reason to panic. Hey extra historians, welcome to not lies, it's sort of an extra history. It's a bit of an editorial. A lot of you have been revisiting our 1918 flu pandemic series lately due to recent events with COVID-19, aka coronavirus. I have too, because if you didn't know, I live in Hong Kong. So we've been kind of in the middle of this. Not really the middle. I mean, we're fairly removed from mainland China. There's a border, and people who come in are quarantined for 14 days and things like that. So I just wanted to update you on me and kind of my emerging thoughts about the 1918 flu series, which is one of my favorites I've ever written. We're fine, first of all. The epidemic here seems relatively contained. As of today, February 18th, there are 57 cases. There was not a big upswing in cases 2 weeks after Lunar New Year, which everyone worried about. That people would travel and then bring it back with them. Didn't seem like that happened too much, actually. But, everyone in Hong Kong has been kind of hunkering down, working from home, self-quarantining. The schools and public buildings are closed. So really the thing we were most at risk of at this point is boredom. And there have been occasional rounds of panic buying of toilet paper, hand soap, hand sanitizer, which you don't see here because I don't have any and can't buy any. But we're okay. Things have almost gotten farcical at some point. Yesterday, 3 guys armed with a knife jacked a bunch of toilet paper in an armed robbery. But we're okay. Don't worry about us. We don't feel unsafe. We're very careful. We're washing our hands a lot, which is the best defense against it, because you're probably not going to get it from being coughed on. You're probably going to get it from touching something that someone's coughed on and then touching your face. So, best thing you can do is basic hand hygiene. Wash your hands. 20 seconds, the time it takes to sing happy birthday to your thumbs and fingernails and wrists, webs of your hands, all that kind of stuff. But I do have some thoughts about our 1918 flu series. You definitely sympathize a lot with the people who don't know what's going on, right? You imagine what's going on now, except people don't have the medical knowledge to even realize what's happening to them. This got cut out of the first episode, but I, at one point, said that the 1918 flu and the global response to it was kind of the closest mankind has ever come to fighting an alien invasion. This sort of invisible enemy nobody really understands. And, the panic and the alarm and the conspiracy theories and superstitions that we all talk about in that series are really coming home, right? I think we're seeing some of that. How concerned you should be? Probably about medium concerned. I'd be careful, It's not the apocalypse, but we absolutely want to stop it now so it doesn't mutate into something even more deadly. The risk to an individual, especially the demographics of the people who watch our show, you folks are generally pretty young, you personally are likely not going to die from COVID-19. If you got sick, you might get a little bit sick or even possibly seriously ill, but if you went into a hospital, they could probably nurse you through it, but there's no cure, there's no vaccine to prevent it. And if a lot of people got sick like that at once, it would completely overwhelm ICUs and hospitals. So that's the real danger to the developed world, is that there's a structural failure in the medical system because too many people are sick at once. In the developing world, for example, we just taped the Haitian Revolution lies. If this gets to Haiti or, West Africa or, parts of Southeast Asia, it could be absolutely devastating because people, if left untreated, have a much lower survival rate. So be careful, wash your hands. I'm just going to talk a couple of things about the 1918 flu pandemic. One is that we talk about the Chinese Labor Corps. I actually don't think that what they had was pandemic flu. I put that in because I thought it was an interesting anecdote, but I think they most likely had pneumatic plague. There was a disease going around the mountains in China that missionaries reported. It was a very severe pneumatic disease. And one guy actually did try and take samples and test them. And if those samples had survived, we might have known whether this was pneumatic plague, which could have been detected, versus flu, which wouldn't have been at that point. But he didn't describe his mission adequately to local people, and they besieged and burned his carriage full of supplies and samples. So we're never going to know. But one thing that I also wanted to point out was that we didn't put death rates and infection rates for China, which a lot of people brought up specifically after watching it after coronavirus. This is because the numbers are very controversial and basically non-existent for China. A lot of people said that there were a lot of deaths and a lot of infections, and others say that there were not. And there's contradictory evidence. I will tell you, I looked for what happened here in Hong Kong, and I did not find any reports of like mass deaths and burials due to pandemic flu. So who knows? But because the evidence was so mixed, I had a difficult time like putting it on a chart, so I didn't want to do that. I also wanted to point out that we made a major mistake in episode 6, which I've always wanted to correct. H1N1 is swine flu, not avian flu. I was referencing a theory that it got its genes reshuffled by traveling into birds or through birds, but then in editing the script it got mangled and messed up and created an error. And last, I just wanted to tell you that the edible ice cream cone actually comes from the flu pandemic, because before that you would get this little crystal stem with an ice cream ball on top and you would eat it. It was called a penny lick. You would hand it back to the ice cream man, who would wipe it and put another piece of ice cream on top of it and hand it to someone else. And all that kind of stuff went away after the flu pandemic. Nobody wanted that. So next time you crunch down an ice cream cone, thank H1N1 for bringing you that delicious crunchy cone. Yeah, but don't worry about us. We're fine. We're a little stir crazy, but we're okay. We have plenty of toilet paper. So hope you all stay safe and healthy. We're fine here. Don't worry about us. But I'll see you next time with Ibn Battuta and dividing the Middle East. And Ibn Battuta has the Black Plague in it. So, yeah, more outbreaks. Don't vote for another outbreak series for a while, guys. I'm not. Let's do something fun next time, because I can't go outside that much. All right, see you later.